I feel like it's been a while since we've got to talk about something limited edition on this channel, and Monteverde was happy to oblige. So inside this box, I have a Monteverde MP1 in Strawberry Dreams, which is their newest limited edition in the MP line. And this pen is super fun. First off, you have the marked limited edition. Monteverde does this on all their pens. And I really like this because sometimes when you buy a pen from a brand where it's a big limited edition, they don't individually mark all the pens, and Monteverde always does. So this is number 625 out of 1,999, and I utterly adore the color gradient on this pen. The cap is such a pretty pink, and then the end cap is such a lovely red, and you've got this lovely ombre in the cap. So we are going to ink this pen up. The other thing about this pen is its locking mechanism at the end. I find these to be a really hard pull with my little weak fingers. Neuropathy does not help me here, and so I use a little thing to unlock it. And so we are going to twist this up. So I should take off the cap so you can see everything that's going on. We're going to twist this up because what I really like about this pen is that, let's say I want to do a partial fill. I have a lot of things inked up. I don't need to fully ink this pen. I just want it to be partially full, but I don't want the ink to be sloshing around a bunch. I don't want a bunch of air in the chamber. Well, I can lock it there. As long as those two dots are lining up, this thing will lock into place. And I utterly adore that because it means that you can really customize how much ink you have in here without dealing with the annoyance of ink sloshing around and stuff. So we've got a locked wheel, and then you just open it up, and let's turn it back down to our fully open position. Currently this has a fine nib in it. I do quite like the Monteverde fine nibs. Unlike the other Monteverde pens, if you do want to swap the nibs, you do have to pull the nib and feed, but it is a Yovo 6 pen, so you've got lots of options for nibs. So we are going to decide on the color to ink this up with. I also really like the sticker. Now, I'm not a huge sticker person, but I do have a lot of friends that like to journal, and so I think it's really fun that it comes with a sticker because I do have a lot of friends that do spreads for every pen they get. And I think having a sticker to go with that spread makes it super cute. It's a nice, like, tiny add-on to a limited edition that's super fun. But let's talk color. I think it has to be a pink. And there are some really great options. If I can stop dropping this cap, like this one. But I'm really actually vibing with this Bungo Box one, which is just a little bit darker. It's more in the reds, but it's not quite red. That pink also isn't bad. That's Ferris Wheel Press Pink Razor. I think, though, this Bungo Box one's going to win because it also goes quite well with the end cap. And I think it'll be fun to have pink, red with some clear and black just to break it up a little bit. So let's go track down that bottle and ink up this pen. All right, here we go. There we go. Oh, that would be part of my problem. But let's twist this all the way down. I will say, much like a TWSBI pen, like, because of how much air is through here, you are going to have to burp this pen, which is not my favorite part about most pens. So it'd make a mess everywhere. But that happens. Well, we have this much ink in the pen. All right, let's put this cap back on and let's try and fill that. Well, more. Ah, there we go. So we've got a whole bunch of little bubbles right now from this chaos. But I'm gonna see how many I can just like disrupt off the sides, because I'm already covered in ink. There's going to be a trip to go and wash my hands already. I can see why. What's up? There. All right. Well, it is full and I am covered in ink. So I'm gonna go wash my hands and then we'll come back to this. The before and afters of the Private Reserve ink remover will never not shock me. There's still like a tiny bit of pink staining, but honestly, they're so much better. They look much, much better. And so let's get into this writing sample. For our paper, we are using Endless Regalia, and this is the Monteverde MP1. $6.25 out of 1999. It's a fine nib. Feels like a very wet fine nib, which I'm not against. I just am shocked that it's a fine nib, but that's what it's marked as being. And it's inked with That's a very nice fine nib. I'm shocked. It writes much more similarly to a medium, but it is very nice, and I very much like the ink combo. I think it works quite well with the pen. It's quite a good match. So let me know down below, would you prefer this pen or a TWSBI Eco? And thanks so much for watching. As always, memberships are available, and if you enjoyed the video, I hope you subscribe.